Hey there, I'm back from the stream. It's a slow night. I can put in another hour or two. So welcome. Let's get this started. Just open panel. Come on up if you want. Links pinned at the top. Have the super get chat goal set. I wanted to do 90 minutes, but it doesn't let me do 90 minutes. So I'll probably keep it going for 90, but I have to set the goal for an hour. And then I'll keep it going after that if I reach the super chat goal. Okay, I guess I can finish looking at tweets until people show up, if they show up. Let's see. Well, there's more of this kind of stuff, but I'll keep showing it to drive the point home. American politics going through a racial realignment. Okay, these are non-white Americans' vote intention. So these are this is who they say they're going to vote for when they do these pre-election polls. Look, even during Trump, it was going up. Minority Republicans who voted for Trump the first time said they would vote for him again, and even more in 2024. Democrats said they would not. These are non-white. Would not vote for after 2016. Said they would not vote for Democrats, and each time that decreases the amount. This is the, I guess, enthusiasm for Democrats decreasing and the enthusiasm for Republicans. So what we saw this last election was building up over 8 years. I guess is the point. Let's see what else. This one's kind of. I'm not going to show this one. I'm not sure their polling methodology. Kevin Drum, I don't know who that is. There's of course this graph, which I think probably, if pretty accurate, represents the view from the left, the very propagandized view. But I think if any leftists are out there and want to confirm this, I think this seems to be, from the outside looking in, like it might represent your world. I've seen it before. This is the progressive left, the little ideological bubble, the morally righteous and pure, the evolved. Okay, this is in my generation, this would have been us. This would have been the Gen X classical liberals. We're now alt-right. Everybody to the right of us are now Nazis. Let's see, MS people.
When I woke up this morning, we
I'm not
had
going to play this
lost.
one, it's too long. Let's see, this is from Benny Johnson. He says this ticket, Trump and Vance, won the popular vote and the electoral college in a landslide. By the way, Arizona came in today. That was the final state. 312 votes is what Trump won by. I tell you what, let's break it down. Oop, what am I doing? Have everybody on screen the whole time? Final results. 312 to 226. This seems pretty decisive. And what happened was these states, the Rust Belt states, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Pennsylvania. These are all the ones that swung to Trump the first time and gave him the victory. These are the ones that surprised me when I was watching the Clinton Trump results come in. I was shocked when these states were turning red and I realized Trump was going to win. Nevada had already swung. Nevada was pro. They voted for. They were Bush when I lived there, and then I left Nevada just before the Obama election. So Nevada switched to Obama both terms, and they voted for Clinton. So the point is, okay, so all of these states, these three voted for Trump in 2016. In 2020, they switched again and went back to Biden, along with Arizona and Georgia. They also flipped to Biden. Nevada had already been blue for a while. So this election, the three states that switched to Trump, then to Biden, switched back to Trump in just one election cycle of Biden. Georgia switched back to Trump. Oh, Arizona also switched to Biden. So Georgia and Arizona, after 4 years of Trump, switched to Biden, and then they switched back after 4 years of Biden. Nevada also followed them to Trump, which had been blue for a while. Nevada swung back red after Obama voting for Clinton and Biden. So this is not election fraud. This is not a conspiracy. This is hard fact. And you need to revise your story that you're telling yourself about why this happened if you truly want to understand it. I guess we could check the Senate too. Look, oh my God, I didn't realize it was this much of a majority. We picked up West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Montana. Wow, 53 to 46. I wonder who the Senate majority leader is going to be. And then look, we only need 5 to get the House. We're at 213. We need 5, and there are 1, 2. There's 9 Senate seats that lean red open. So Republicans only need to get 5 of these 9 to have a House majority. If they get more, they'll have even more of a majority. And then the governors, 27 to 23. So this is a pretty decisive shift to the right, and it mirrors my own journey. I took the I guess I took the Nevada journey. I was Obama. I was Clinton. I know I was Clinton. I was Biden. I was consistently. In fact, this is the first time I voted for a Republican president my entire lifetime. So Nevada itself switched to Trump, along with Arizona, Georgia, flip back, and the blue state. Those 3 Rust Belt states flip back. So there's a pattern of people leaving the Democratic Party. It's not just me. It's not just the people I know. It's not just the men I talk to that are leaving. It's entire states. The populations of those, 6 states are swinging too. So you can take that for what it is. You can ignore it if you want. You can stay in your bubble and tell yourself a fake delusional story about reality, or you can try to understand what happened if you truly care about it not happening again or getting people back on your side. And good luck with that. I do think the Democratic Party now is open for anything. Like there's the Democrat establishment, whatever, is over. The party is in ashes. This is a chance for some new rising star to come in and reshape it, like Trump did with the Republican Party. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, the Benny Johnson tweet says that this ticket, Trump Vance won the popular vote and the Electoral College in a landslide. Oh yeah, let's look at the popular vote. I forgot to look at that. Because they were still counting. Oh wow, it's still at 50%. Oh, wait, are the votes all counted? Hang on, how do I read this? Well, anyway, the current count, whatever it is, 74 million, 74.6 million. Let's say 75, 74.65 to 70.916, so 71. About 74 and over 74 and a half million to just under 71 million. That's like a what? 4 million difference. So they won the popular vote, the electoral college in a landslide. They won every swing state. All of those 6 swing states that were in play. They won all 6 of those. Kamala did not capture a single swing state. They won a historic number of Hispanic, Black, Asian, and Native American voters. Why are all of these minorities switching over to this racist Nazi party? That makes no sense. The narrative itself collapses right there. It makes no sense other than whatever convoluted story you're telling yourself in your head. Native Americans, we looked at the graph the other day, it was like over 60% swung to Trump. I think it might even be close to 70. They won with historic margins of women and young voters. Obama era identity politics is dead. That is the tweet. Hey, Beak. And oh, well, I'm going off of AP, which is usually they're usually authoritative, and I think they're the most conservative about posting results, like calling elections. They're the ones that wait for the most results to come in to make it decisive. But 215 is what AP has. I mean, I'm sorry, 212. So CBS has more seats coming. Yeah, they're just calling more. They're just calling a few more seats earlier than AP. So I think we'll get the House. Now I threw in with the Republicans this cycle, just like those swing states did. So we will see what they do with all of the branches of government. Well, the Supreme Court is kind of neutral, but still, he has the power to appoint now. All right, let's see if I have more tweets. Oh yeah, look at this tweet. He didn't even win everybody. Also, look what he did in California. 2020 in California. Even these California counties swung over. You have one up here that stayed blue. All of this it's just the coast of California that's blue now. Central California, Eastern California, all swung Trump. When I was growing up, it was mostly Orange County. That was the big red Republican county. I think that's the one Reagan came from. And everything around it was blue. Look at this. California is like a microcosm of what happened in the U.S. People are not happy with Democratic policies. When somebody's not happy with your policy, I wouldn't keep doubling down on the same policy. I would try to find out what happened and shift, pivot. For some reason, when I show tweets, it takes me all the way back to the top. Oh my God, this is hilarious. I don't know if y'all seen this. Speaking of trolls, Michael Cohen is trying to do a video explaining he's not a Trump fan, so he's trying to explain his opposition to Trump on some video. And the trolls start having fun with him.
No problem. Wow. Genius you. Every single right within which to turn around would we stop so we can. All right, 2 seconds. I'm going to end up blocking this idiot.
I know what that feels like. Wait, that's the video? Oh, I want to see that again. Hang on. I think I have to come out and come back in. I wish StreamYard would streamline some of this. Oh, it's a Twitter thing. Hang on. I have to. How do I do this? Twitter, for some reason, doesn't let you replay videos. You have to go back in and come out.
No problem. Wow, genius you are. Can we stop with that? I appreciate it. I don't like the stupid turkeys. All right, let's just knock that stupid shit off, please. All right. I did. I said I was leaving, and then the following day, get that through your dumb heads. The following day, I turned around and I said that there's no chance in the world that I'm leaving my country. Thank you very much. All right. I'm not leaving anywhere. You leave. This is my country. And I have every right, every single right within which to turn around with you stop so we can.
To hide the.
All right, 2 seconds, I'm going to end up blocking this idiot.
All right. Very entertaining. I can see why people enjoy some good trolling now and then. I'm just killing time looking at tweets because I have so much to catch up on. If somebody has a topic or somebody wants to come up, it's an open panel. I just had some extra time tonight, so I thought I'd throw in an hour or two. This guy, Russell, the Rambling Fool, says that what this shows, fundamentally, they still haven't grasped that their messaging is propaganda, too. They understand that we lost a shared reality, but they still think it was the masses who fell away from their reality, the correct reality. Yes, that's the bubble. They still think that their reality is the correct reality. And this is all intersubjective. None of this is objective reality. So they still think that their subjective reality is the reality of other people, and it's the masses that rejected it. So I don't know if any left people or Democrats want to come up and talk. I would love to try to understand your side of it after the election. In fact, I'm not sure I've really talked to any people on the left since. Have they been up here? Oh, right. And look at this. The accusation of Latinos not wanting a women president. Look at this map. These are look at South America. Female head of state, government combined. So I don't think Latinos have a problem with female leaders. It looks like another false that's what they do. They just throw out these false narratives. It goes back to those two types of thinking, those two modes of thinking. I've talked about, I don't know, many streams ago, months ago. The mythological type where you kind of both of them are stories to explain events, because we're narrative beings. We run off of stories. Our brain packages everything into stories. So some anomaly happens and you create a story in your mind to like account for it. But rational thinking, which developed from mythological thinking, so it's post-mythological, tries to align its story to some actual external fact or event and have the story explain the event. It kind of demythologizes the explanation. It attempts to explain the event without resorting to mythologizing. Like when rationalism started to develop in Greece, like in the pre-Socratic philosophers, the Ionian nature philosophers, they tried to find natural explanations for things that were normally explained with the gods. So instead of Apollo's chariot driving the sun across the sky, they tried to come up with an explanation that did not include this unobservable being driving the sun across the sky. So there's type of thinking developed from an attempt to understand the world or reality or people or voters as they actually are. And you have this other type of thinking that tries to hold an internal narrative together. It's more concerned with internal consistency or group solidarity or social cohesion than it is with actually understanding the world as it is. And so I think the Democrats currently are in that mode of thinking. Oh, we have a guest. I believe it's you. Can you flash real quick in the back so I can make sure you're not a troll? I would love to talk to you. All right, I got you. I'll bring you on. Okay, this is a blast from the past. One of our favorite guests. Everybody, welcome.
Aw,
Hi.
what a kind thing to say.
Oh yeah, we love you here. What's been going
Aw.
on?
Well, um, I live in Oakland, California, and I'm about as far left as you can get. So and I love you, Jeff. I really
Oh,
do. I mean, if I could have a grandson,
oh, come on! Don't do this to me.
don't do this to me, because I just want to know, what do you see in that orange asshole? I'm gonna stop and let you
Well, I want to hear your
answer.
side of it more than anything else, but I'll briefly answer. I saw him get assassinated and pop up seconds later and raise the fist and say fight. I saw him work that fry station. I saw him in that garbage truck. But I didn't vote for him as a person. I voted against the policies I see coming out of the left. The DEI, the videos from several people on the left, Clinton, Kamala, Tim Walz, the Obamas about restricting internet speech, revoking Section 230, having controls on what platforms, like having platforms be responsible for people's speech. And as someone that has a YouTube channel, that would make my life a lot harder. And I think it goes against the American values of speech. So all of that coming out of the left, the authoritarianism, the top-down DEI stuff, like in Washington State, where everybody's forced to go to these trainings. I was more voting against that than for Trump. Although I do think the new Republican Party platform is pretty decent. They stripped most of the religious right stuff out of it that was so objectionable in my day, and now it's just a pretty mainstream set of principles I think that a lot of Americans can get on board with. So it was a vote against some more than for. But I do enjoy his trolling. I enjoy his spirit. I enjoy he's just raw. Like he's not going to be manipulated or controlled. You're going to get Trump. Like he's just himself. Kamala, I had no idea who she was. She didn't answer direct questions. She seemed nervous all the time. She didn't inspire confidence, and she didn't seem like somebody that had a distinct self or knew who she was or what her policies were. So she was harder to trust. So that's my answer. But how are you doing? What's your take on the election?
I'm okay. I'm. It's funny because I do love you, but we are like diametrically opposed in
Probably
most
on
of
some
the.
things, but maybe not everything.
Well, probably not everything. I think he's foul.
Yeah, I
I
could see why people would think that.
I think he's
There's no
foul.
way to defend his personality, that's for sure. And there's no
I
way to
do not
defend that
like
he's a
his.
felon.
I do not trust his relationship with Vladimir Putin. Um, I do not trust his relationship with Elon Musk.
Oh, you
I
don't like Elon?
I don't like Elon one little bit.
Ooh.
I wouldn't ride in a Tesla if he gave me one for free.
I wouldn't either because
Also,
they're ugly. But
well, they're ugly, but also I'm out here on the West Coast and they blow up in traffic and blow up in people's garages.
what?
No,
Let me
that
see.
they get looked. They should never have started driverless cars in San Francisco, where every road is a hill and every street is one way. They've been hitting people in the intersections. Okay, well that's a local story, but ugh, no, I don't like Elon. I do not like Elon. I think he's a smart ass.
Well, he
And get
is.
okay.
He's sharp, supposedly. He's a
Supposedly,
spur too. He's on the spectrum.
yeah, bless his heart. Maybe not every spur needs to have a several
Oh,
billion dollars.
I got you there for sure.
Or have the president's ear, or be on the
Oh, I
phone
agree.
with
That would
the
be a
world
nightmare. I
leaders. Oh
agree.
dear God! And again, I love you. I'm keep saying I love you all throughout this conversation because I
I love you,
do.
but I smell a butt.
What?
What how are you doing emotionally? Are you like in existential dread, or are you? I remember
No, no,
2016
no.
when because I felt it too.
Oh Lordy, shit. You don't remember Ronald Reagan? I know that.
I grew up
You
under Reagan. I sure do.
did you really? Well,
Yeah,
I was a punk rocker under Reagan, and we were wearing black all the time,
yeah, same.
and we lived inside the Beltway, like near the White House, and we knew that motherfucker, that president, was gonna blow up the world. We just knew it. We did. I did not expect to live to 25.
That was the Cold War.
There was the fake Cold War. I don't know what he was trying to do. And that bastard had Alzheimer's. It was clear
Yeah,
the first month of his presidency. And as you can tell, I'm a Democrat. And I'm not even a Democrat. I'm an anti-Republican. When Hillary ran, I wrote in Bernie Sanders because I was so pissed at her.
oh yeah.
I voted really late in California, and two things were clear: Hillary was going to win California, and she had messed up the election. And I was so angry at her. I wrote, so it's not so much I'm a hardcore Democrat as an anti-Republican, because every Republican, there's not been one worth dookie. You can hear me censoring myself. That's how much I respect you.
Oh, you don't have to do that here. Trust me. Believe me.
Okay,
It's
well, Hillary fucked up, and Ronald Reagan was a shithead. And what else? And
okay. As
Donald
long
Trump.
as YouTube's the only thing I have to worry about.
Oh
As long as you
no,
get my show taken down.
I don't even like my. Sometimes I have my avatar here, sometimes I don't. YouTube's been messing with me.
Oh,
I went on Robert Escobar's show last week, and I couldn't even comment. I was like
what?
shadow
You mean in the
banned.
chat?
Yeah.
Somebody else has been saying that too. Like YouTube's not letting them chat. I had to give them a wrench just so they were able to chat. It wouldn't let them chat or
I don't
like
know
without
what's been going
being a
on. And
mod.
Robert was like, Nancy, it's not me. I said, I know it's not you. But anyway, that's just YouTube petty gossip. So maybe it'll be better the next time. The next time I'm awake when Robert Escobar comes on. But no, I don't like Donald Trump at all. And here's my thing with the borders, for one thing. Um, I've known a lot of immigrants. Oakland is a sanctuary city.
Mm,
California is a sanctuary state. And our school district, when I was teaching, it was sanctuary school district. And my last year, I taught at the school for immigrant refugee children.
are these legal or illegal, or
I
both?
don't know. It's none of my business.
Y'all don't ask.
Probably mostly illegal, but it was not our job to ask. Those babies, um, were the sweetest, most respectful, most wanting to learn children. And you know what they wanted to learn most? The English language.
English.
They wanted to know all about America. And it was every day I come in, good morning, miss. Thank you, miss. Please, miss. They were so sweet. And I taught in Oakland for 20 years. That's the first year I was not called a bitch one time.
Wow.
As opposed to our homegrown children, we sometimes I'd be a bitch, a white bitch, a old bitch, any kind of a bitch, 3 times before breakfast. Because those
Wow.
kids
To
would
your
show
face?
up snarling and hating school because not all of them. I don't want to paint our kids that way, but there were kids who like and addicted to their cell phones and acted like school was imposing on their cell phone time. Um, and then wondering why they're failing. But I go to this international school, and we had kids from several different countries in Africa. We had kids from Yemen, all the poor babies from Yemen with the visible facial scars. We had kids from Central America. We got a lot of the second daughters from Central America and the second sons. Guess why? Because the first children, the first children,
The
the
cartels.
the the local, the local dope dealers or pimps would show up on the parents' door with guns and say, "We're taking your big girl today. She works for us. We're taking your boy today. He's joining with us." So then the parents would move heaven and earth to get the second daughters the hell out of whatever village they were in, and then they wound up in my classroom. Um, and they told me horror stories. But I mean, they're not coming here to mooch off the United States. They're coming here because they're terrified. And I'll tell you what, I would trade. I've never met an immigrant who was not grateful and courteous and cheerful and just grateful to be in the United States. And I look around at all the homegrown Americans who are doing nothing but bitching and moaning about and I don't appreciate Donald Trump either. Say, America's a wasteland. America's a shithole. America's a third world. Fuck you. No, we are not. And I don't like that message of his. I don't like him. I, and I would happily trade how many immigrants, like the 30,000 of his followers, not you, Jeff, you get to stay,
Oh,
for the immigrants coming in who are happy to be here. Because I'm just tired of Americans not being happy to be here. I feel like I hit the world's biggest lottery,
me
Jeff,
too. I'm the
just
same way.
being
There's a
born in the
lot of
United
black pill
States.
on America that I don't get. I think people see the decay that's happening. Like the cities definitely
Okay.
have degenerated from when I even Seattle, the little window I was living there, I watched it degenerate from a fairly nice city to homelessness, drug use, all of that stuff. San Francisco, the cities in California are examples of that. Like
San
that's
Francisco,
a hard reality to deny, but your
well,
story
I
puts a very
deny it
human
because
face on the immigration issue.
I moved here in 1982. I used to hang out in San Francisco. There are homeless people all over the place in San
Not
Francisco.
like it is today, though. I lived there too briefly for a while at the end of the '90s, and it was nothing like it is today.
And okay, maybe to be honest, I haven't been over there in 3 or 4 years. So, but I have a hard time believing people over there building castles with their shit on the sidewalk or whatever.
Oh, it's I've lived it in Seattle. I've watched our local neighborhood park become unusable because of homeless encampments that the city refused to sweep out or do anything about. Waking up in the middle of the
Well, what
night
the hell are
from
those people
crazy
supposed to
people
do? Go
screaming and
home?
hollering, or people
I'm sorry.
fighting, or drunk people smashing bottles. That used to never happen in my neighborhood.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't happen in my neighborhood anymore. When I moved into this apartment, it was a crack neighborhood, but that has changed. And I'm in Oakland, so
Well,
uh,
hey, you're a teacher. I want to get your opinion on
I
something
was
because
a teacher. I'm retired, but okay.
Trump just released his education plan. It's a little video. I want to watch it and then tell me what you think because, well, I don't want to give my opinion yet. I don't want to bias you.
Me either. I'm gonna try and go in with an open mind. You really
All right.
gonna
Are you
show this?
okay with watching Trump for like 3 minutes?
Yeah, I've been hitting F1 whenever he comes, but I'll do it for you, baby.
All right. Well, let's see what he has to say about school. Uh, his school plan.
Here are 10 key ideas that will power our movement for great schools. First, we will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children. Second, we will empower parents and local school board to hire and reward great principals and teachers, and also to fire the poor ones, the one whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired. Third, we will ensure our classrooms are focused not on political indoctrination, but on teaching the knowledge and skills needed to succeed. Reading, writing, math, science,
Duh.
arithmetic, and other truly useful subjects. Fourth, we will teach students to love their country, not to hate their country like they're taught right now. Fifth, we will support bringing back prayer to our schools. Sixth, we will
Uh-uh.
achieve schools that are safe, secure, and drug-free, with immediate expulsion for any student who harms a teacher or another student. Seventh, we will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want. It's called school choice. Eighth, we will ensure students have access to project-based learning experiences inside the classroom to help train them for meaningful work outside the classroom. Ninth, we will strive to give all students access to internships and work experiences that can set them on a path to their first job. They're going to be very, very successful. I want them to be more successful than Trump. Let them go out and be more successful. I will be the happiest person in the world. But we want our children to have a great life and be successful. And 10th, we will ensure that all schools provide excellent jobs and career counseling so that high school and college students can get a head start on jobs and careers best suited to their God-given talents. This is how we will ensure a great education for every American child. And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. We're
Goddamn
going to send it
building.
all back to the states. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Okay. I have a few observations.
Okay.
First of all, he's gonna close the Department of Education.
They've been trying to do that since Reagan. Reagan was going to do that, and he just didn't have the Republican majority he needed to pull it off.
There goes everybody's student loans, because guess who they owe that money to?
The Department of Education.
Yep.
That is one of
Kids,
its roles, so they're going to have to
kids,
find some
everybody's
way
student
to.
loans goodbye. So when that dawns on him, it's not going to happen. Again, where do I begin?
Well,
Prayer in
let's
school?
get prayer in school off the table. That's not going anywhere. So the
That's not,
prayer
I
in school,
mean,
I think, was just a talking point he threw out to his
he's
supporters.
full of shit, because that ain't happening. Um, what else?
Well, let me see if I could
Quit
pull up a list.
with the political indoctrination.
That's the woke stuff that they're being taught now. The
Who is being
Marxism, the
taught that?
gender
What woke stuff?
ideology.
I never ever, okay, and I retired 2 years ago, but I'm in Oakland, California, probably the most progressive or communist or whatever you want to call it school district. I never got any instruction on teaching woke stuff or gender identity or any of all these Republican talking points.
Oh
I'm
no,
not
it's
familiar with.
it's happening. There's way too much evidence out there. People have this is the internet now, so people can show this stuff. There's entire websites that track it. It may not have happened in your particular school, but it is definitely happening.
I
It's
taught in
happening
every
here in
high school in
Seattle.
Oakland. So what are they doing that's so horrible?
They're teaching that white people are white supremacists and they're oppressing black people. They're teaching gender ideology to very young kids, like third grade kids, teaching them about homosexuality, gender, all this stuff. Um,
Who cares? Some of them probably have gay parents.
it's not just about gay parents. They're going into way more detail that it's not age appropriate. Let's say they have porn in schools. They have very graphic porn material that they're passing off as sex ed material.
I have just a hard time believing this because I taught school and our first and foremost priority was to keep the children safe. And there was enough
That's
going on
another
in our
thing,
homes.
parental rights. We had the video the other day about the little kid that wanted to wear the dress and the parent didn't want him to and the teacher kept letting him wear the dress.
Well, how's the teacher letting him wear the dress if the parent's not letting him out of the house with the dress? Or was he
Well,
changing
no,
it?
the dress was part. It was at the school. They had like this toy chest of costumes the kids could play with. So the dress was part of the school, and the little boy would go put it on when during
So what?
playtime, because the parent has the right to decide that for the kid, not the teacher to override the parent's wishes for her kid. As long as it's not academic related, that's the parent's domain. Would you do that with a kid if they were the parent said,
Well,
I don't
I
want this
taught
for
high
my
school.
kid? Would you say, I don't care, it's my classroom and I'm going to have your kid do this whether you want it or not?
No. But okay. What grade were these children?
This was preschool, actually, so it wasn't even a public school.
Okay, because my thing is, my kids would come in ninth grade, not able to string a full sentence together. So I'm
Mine
thinking,
too.
be teaching them some damn grammar instead of
Yeah,
playing
that's what
stuff.
Trump said. We're going to bring
And
back
my other thing
reading,
is,
writing, math, and arithmetic,
I
and
don't think
science.
preschool is particularly valuable. I'm not sure kindergarten is valuable. But although people need to dump their kids, to put their kids somewhere because they got to be working all day. So in preschool, who cares what they're wearing? He'll be wearing a
Well, the
dress.
parents have the right to care. That's the point. Like the parent,
Well,
if
take
even
him
if
out of
you wouldn't do it for your kid,
preschool.
parents have the right to make those decisions for their kids.
Then take him out of preschool and keep him home. Or take him to
That's
work
what
with
she
you.
that's what she did. But
Right.
that's not a
So
good way
why
to
go
run a
to the
business.
news?
If you don't like our service, don't use our business, then you don't have a business left. But the public school, like the preschool issue
The
is easy
pub-
because it's a private business. But the public school, if that were a kindergarten class instead, that would be a societal issue that we would all have to decide.
Yeah, my personal feeling is no kid really needs kindergarten. That's just me. But
Did y'all have Head Start down there too, or does it start at kindergarten?
we have Head Start, but I've never been involved in it. I can't deal with the little ones.
Yeah, me either.
Um,
I couldn't do
little
second grade or
baby, a
below.
foot high, calls me a bitch. Somebody's flying out the window, and it ain't gonna be me. No, my best years are with the high school kids. Uh, and
Well, one of his plans was like keeping teachers and kids safe, like getting rid of all. That's another issue in the schools is the discipline issue. Like the kids are not being disciplined, so they're letting all the wild feral kids run over everybody else in the school. And
see, that's where I'm going to get really conservative because the Oakland School District, the year after I retired, and a couple other districts in California instituted this policy that no child shall get less than a C grade. So no
That's
more
not what grades
D's,
are.
no more F's. And that
What?
to me
That's
is
not education.
racist as hell because it assumes that black and brown children can't get C grades without charity. And bullshit, because I've had some classes over the years with some brats in them, but they were smart brats. And my first class, I was a substitute teacher, and their English teacher got cancer. And she calls me up and asks me if I could take her English class for the whole second semester. And I said, wait, I only wanted to do this one day a week. But no, those kids needed me and she needed me. So all of a sudden, I'm an English teacher,
Yep.
40 hours a week, 50, 60 hours a week. Boom, boom, boom. And I walk in there the first day, and this one little girl is dancing on top of the desk with her butt crack showing. Oh, Lord. And they were just about swinging from the chandeliers. Acting like, oh, it's going to be whole vacation since our teacher got canceled. Bullshit. Um, and I had a whole semester with them. That's 18 weeks. And after the first week, they got the first 6 weeks, they got their report cards. And almost half of those kids got an F.
Hmm.
How you going to give me an F?
They weren't
Easy.
learning. That happened to me too. That same situation. I walked in as a sub, and it was an empty classroom. They asked me to stay the rest of the, and the kids test you, and
Mm-hmm.
I had to get in there and take control of that class and explain to them that I'm not going anywhere. You're stuck with me, and I'm here to teach, and you're here to learn, and that's what's going to happen.
Oh, here's me. You all can sit down and shut up, or I'm going to start smacking heinies.
Oh, that was back in the day where you could smack the heinies.
No, I wouldn't have
Oh.
touched their heinies. Ew.
And
But,
they were learning nothing. Like the whole,
but
I don't know
that's
who this
how their
teacher was,
mamas,
but
I
they
guess, were
were not
talking
learning
about.
anything.
They sat down and shut up, and then they started learning.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
after they
had to
got
do
those
too.
apps, some of them were getting A's by the end of the year. And one of them I've been in touch with. She called me up on election day crying. She can't believe that motherfucker won. But anyway, she's got to be in her 30s or 40s right now. I don't know. But and now there's no such thing as an F. There's no such thing as a D. I couldn't teach under those conditions anyway.
Well, okay, fine. They're taking away grades. They have to have some way to evaluate whether the kids have learned the material they're trying to teach, whether they know math, whether they can read. So whether they use grades or some other way, there still has to be a way to evaluate and assess the progress of the
Not
children.
really, because they're going to get A's, B's, or C's, whatever they do. So the grades don't count for shit. Um, and the standardized tests were garbage to begin
Oh
with.
God, that started with No Child Left Behind. That's when I got out. That's about the
Uh,
time all the teachers were leaving. That really
yeah.
damaged education, and part of that was that centralized system of education that he's going to send back to the states. That Common Core thing, that was part of that, and he himself said that America's always at the bottom, and you're kind of saying the same thing, that because they're just giving away grades, the kids are not actually learning. The grades don't mean anything, just like degrees don't mean
Here's
anything
when the
anymore.
rubber hits the road, Jeff. Is when these kids get accepted to college and they show up their freshman year and they're floundering.
Hmm?
They don't know basic English. They don't know basic math. They don't know basic science because they've been pumped along. And that is happening with some of
Yeah.
our Oakland kids. They're fucking up in college because they don't know the basic. Oh, good Lord. And it's not.
Well,
And it's not that they're dumb kids. It's that they're coddled. And
right, but it's not the Republicans that are coddling them. They're not the source of this issue.
oh, I know. I'm just bitching. Um, Yeah,
Well,
we were supposed to talk about the election. I'm sorry.
oh, we can talk about anything. I had played that
Yeah,
video to get,
get
since I
me
have
started
a
on
former teacher on
Tuesday.
here. I wanted to get
I miss my babies. And now I brought it up because a couple of them have called me crying over the election. And it is, I mean, okay, I'm an old white woman in Oakland. I can sit here and view Donald Trump as a distant cartoon character. That's how I got through with him for 4 years the first time. But there are other people whose life he might just screw up, and some of them might be my former students. Because as I said, I don't know if they were. My assumption is most of them were illegal at the
but
refugee
I
school.
mean, you have to grant that people can't just come here illegal. Like there's they have categories of legal and illegal for a reason, and people can't just show up at people's countries and just come in and expect to be embraced and treated as equally as the legal citizens. That's a lot to ask from the residents of a country. And we have a legal process.
I know, but these were babies. 14, 15, 16-year-old babies, 17-year-old babies to me.
And it's probably the parents that it's
When
not
you
the kids
look at a child
themselves.
with one eye and like a machete mark across his face, I don't care if he's legal or not. That's my
I think
sobrino.
that's the issue is like compassion has to be balanced with respect for the laws that we all agree to live by.
Okay, well,
And
in
it
California and in Oakland, we agreed to live by different laws, and it ain't Donald Trump's
well,
business.
as part of the United States, you kind of can't. That's part of the that's part of the point.
Well, guess what? That might be a big battle. And here's the thing, too. It's not even the state or the federal government or anybody's taxes do most of the funding for these people. They get a phenomenal amount of funding from the Catholic Church
Yeah, you're right.
and from the
It's
local
nonprofits,
community.
local agencies. You're right about that.
Yeah,
We checked into it the other day. It's mostly not federal programs. Some states may have programs, but usually it's at the local level. That's why
yeah, and a lot of the
they go to
students
the
have,
same cities, the same geographical locations where they have those services set up to provide that. They don't go to the areas that don't have that.
yeah, and we are, California is a sanctuary state. Oakland is a sanctuary city, and the Oakland Unified School District is a sanctuary school district, which is why we got all these lovely, and I mean they were lovely, precious children. Um, I I can't remember one of them being rude to me.
But the
They
problem
were
is the
always
United
happy to see
States
me.
alone cannot serve the needs of every lovely, precious child out there in the world. We just don't have the capacity, and at the expense of our own citizens.
At what expense?
Well, there are people in America that are suffering just as much. There are poor children in America that are suffering just as much as these lovely, precious children, and they're not getting the care from their own government that the immigrants are getting from
And
these
I don't
agencies.
understand that because there are, Jeff, I was, for most of the time I taught, I was a substitute teacher. So I was not making millions of dollars.
Right.
So right now, for my teacher's pension, I'm getting $1,300 a month. Thank God I have a rent controlled apartment. But okay, the state of California has sent me a SNAP card. I have $245 a month to spend on groceries. I'm thinking, have you people who are struggling with with groceries not thought to explore the federal and state benefits you have available?
Yeah, that's just a band. Even that goes only so far, but that is out there. But
It
a lot
is
of
out
people
there, but
struggling with groceries don't qualify for SNAP. It's the middle class people, whatever's left of it, are the people struggling with groceries.
well, then go to your county and look up maybe I'm just spoiled because I live in California,
Might
but my
be.
county has food banks at least once a
You're in a
week.
blue city. They have
You
stuff like
know,
that. Seattle has stuff like that too, but other places don't. Like most of America, in fact, I would say don't. Other than through like churches and local charities, which they don't have to the same extent that the cities in California and the West Coast have.
so what's up with blue cities feeding our less than wealthy citizens, and the red states are not? See that I don't know. It's
Right, and Caldi says right here, nobody wants to go to. They want to be able to buy their own food. Like in a normal functioning society, the citizens shouldn't have to go to food banks and bread lines and stuff like. They should be able to go to the store and buy their food.
banking, not like a bread line. And you know what's funny too? I've been going to the food banks for a couple of years. They sometimes, because this is a Bay Area, we get fresh hot bread from the local bakeries. We get gourmet coffee. We get like weird
Man, y'all
stuff
sound
from
privileged.
gourmet shops. The stuff that I would never buy because it would be too expensive if I was going to buy it. But it's kind of funny because of the people around here who donate.
Yeah,
Um, but you know what I never see at the food banks? Other white people.
I've used them before in Seattle. Like so, a
I've
few of my
seen
white
maybe
friends have
two
used them.
other white people in 2 years. And it's like they're ashamed to ask for help. And I know I'm not the only,
Maybe that's just their white privilege.
well, maybe it's a white, maybe they don't know. Maybe they're, when they grew up, and this is another issue. A lot of young people are growing up in poorer circumstances than their parents. And I
Yeah.
understand that. And these young people are looking on the internet, on TikTok or whatever, watching these influencers. And this one has a great big house. And that one has 5 cars. And this one has 20 pairs of shoes. And this one has all the makeup in the world. And then some of our young people are, why can't I have all that shit? It's Joe Biden's fault.
Yeah, there is some of that. I think some of the black pilling of America on both sides comes from a sense of unreasonable entitlement.
Well,
I don't
so
know
in
where
4
they
years,
get
they'll
this
be
idea of
blaming
what
Donald Trump.
society owes them.
I'll be damned if I get in. And living in California, I decided when I was 30 years old that I could never afford to buy a house. And I don't need a house. I don't, especially the houses they're building now. With the 3 stories and the chandeliers on the porch.
Oh
Nobody needs
yeah,
all that
I would
shit.
never want something that big.
But people are tearing down little 2-bedroom houses to put up something that big. Because then they
You
think
remember,
they can sell it for a
Hey,
million bucks.
Mike, there is a
remember,
housing crisis, no doubt, and a lot of it
I would
is
need to, because
zoning
there
and
needs to be
you remember,
a
what was it?
bad housing crash. There really
well,
does, because
hopefully
people
we can
can't
find a
afford it.
solution without. But again, that happens at the local level too. A lot of the crash is from zoning laws.
But what's really funny, Jeff and hey Nancy. It
Hey,
was really,
Mike.
hey,
Oh,
what's
hi,
up?
sweetheart.
The best, like my life now complicated. Like I make 3 times the money I made in my 20s, and it's complicated. But I remember having that simple life of having that little cottage. We used to call them cottages, little beach houses, and
Yeah.
it was cheap and it was easy and it was, I mean, everything was just simple. It was simple back then. I remember going to the dollar movie night. I
Hmm.
remember getting a Costco chicken, not Costco, but it was farm fresh. I remember like this simplicity of life. It was just so simple and it was so wholesome.
Aw.
But
Where
now
did you grow up, hon?
I grew up in New York. Yeah, I grew up in New York.
All right.
Yeah, but I came to Virginia over 20 something years ago. But the thing is that I remember the simplicity of life. And all I'm trying to say is my whole point is it seems like life is so complicated. They
Like
make
for
it
the
so
kids, for the young generation.
yeah, my son is struggling. My son makes really great money. My son's a PI. He makes really good money. But it's just like he's like, Dad, blah, blah. We talk all the time. But I remember in my 20s, he's 24. But I remember in my 20s, I'm 50. In my 20s, if you made 35, 40 grand, you were set. You were set.
My God, I've never made that in my life.
Never, never.
No, not the
No.
nonprofit jobs I've been working.
Jeff, I went up to 130 one some years.
I need to
You
sell
know,
cars.
but what I'm
Well,
trying, what I'm
I don't
trying,
know. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I don't. We
But
grew
what I'm
up in Virginia, but I
yeah.
grew up in my the house I consider I grew up in was in New Carrollton, Maryland.
Hmm.
Which is inside the belt. Shit, we could hear the Beltway traffic at night from our
Oh yeah.
bed,
Wow.
like a lullaby. But, that house
Yeah.
cost $30,000.
What?
Yeah.
$30,000. My parents bought it in 1968.
Yeah.
20
Well,
minutes from the White House.
I bought my house. I bought my house in '94, and it was $40,000. It's worth 200 and something now.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
people
Yeah.
can't afford these stupid
Yeah.
houses.
Oh
Housing
yeah.
prices.
They're
And
paying like $1 million for little shacks up here just to
And
have
my
some
so
real
so
estate
my
within the city.
so my good friend Marco, right? My good friend Marco, Italian, other Italian, right? We're all Italians. But his parents passed. His mom passed, and his father passed, and he left him the house. You know, in the will, he left him the house. The house is worth over $1 million.
Jesus, right?
It's unbelievable. It's like real estate is the way. But like I said, we were talking about this. I was talking about this on the other night. I was talking about this on another panel. We're talking about physical gold, right? We're talking about gold and stuff like that.
Hey,
And
Colby.
Hey guys.
what's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? And I took my investments and I flipped it to gold, and I flipped it when it was like $600-700 an ounce, and now gold is worth $2,700 an ounce. 2,700.
Lucky
Quadruple.
you.
Yeah, but I mean but the thing is that my father told me take 10% of your earnings. Now my stepfather was Jewish, right? And they do tithings. So in other words, you put away 10% of your earnings for investments
Yeah,
every
all
year.
Christians are supposed to do that. Actually, all
Oh,
Christians
you
are
mean
supposed
for
to
like
do
not for the church, but like to put in stocks and
Well,
stuff?
you have 10% for tithes. You have tithes. You have tithing, and then you have
Uh-huh.
your investments. So, but it was very, very high on education. Like we're very educated. Like all of us are college degree people. But the thing is that it doesn't mean that you can't be. I'll give you an example. The richest friend I know is a business owner who never graduated high school, and he is a multi-millionaire. So it depends on what your drive is, what what you're going to do in life. You don't have to have an education. Now, me, Jeff, and other people, I don't know everybody else, but we have an education, and it guides you through different ups and downs. But the thing is that there are people that don't have an education, so to speak, and they're still very successful. They're extremely successful people. You know, it's the hustle. It's what you go out and you take. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Everybody listening to me. Life is what you take. You have to take it. You have to seize it.
Yeah. Like
You have to
use your
seize it.
agency. We all have it.
That's it. But Jeff, some people don't have the wherewithal to have that kind of connection. All right, so I have a relative in a nursing home. Okay, I'll just give you a quick example. I walk in, and every nurse is in love with me, every single one, because I come in with respect. I come in with humor because they're used to stoic people that are very negative. So if you come in with a positive energy, you can win people over. Does that make sense to you, everybody? You can win people over with
Well,
positive
not everybody
energy.
has that charm and charisma.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, it's funny. It was fun. I went in the other day. She's like, man, but
Well,
it's
Prairie,
great.
go find another panel. This is my panel. I manage the content like I want it.
It's okay.
So
That's all right. That's all right.
if you don't like it, just go somewhere else. I'm not going to be manipulated into changing
But
the way I do things on my panel. That might
Jeff, I
work on
would.
other channels. It's not going to work here. Caldy, what's up? I want to hear from you.
Oh,
I will.
hey.
I will.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, buddy. Where you
Not
from?
much.
Where you from?
Me,
Goldie, where you from?
I am from Mississippi.
Oh, I love
I'm
Mississippi.
deep in the woods of Mississippi,
That's where I
out
want
in
to
the middle of
retire.
nowhere. It's
I used to love it.
It's one of the most beautiful states. It's one of my favorite states, rural
now
Mississippi.
now that we have broadband everywhere,
Yeah.
cheapest state to move to.
Caldy, when I was young, we always say MISS, ISS, IPPI. It was like the old joke, like Mississippi. is like,
Hang on, Mike. I want to hear from Caldy. What's up?
Yeah, the MI cricket letter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the IPP.
No,
Spell
when I
Mississippi
came up, y'all were talking about the food banks, and that's what I wanted to say. Like I had to be on EBT and SNAP before. It's extremely embarrassing as a single dude to be on EBT. Extremely embarrassing. I was very glad to be out of that. Like I totally see why people don't go to that and use that stuff like that.
What was embarrassing? Was it because you felt defeat? Did you feel like defeated as a person? I'm just asking you as an.
Did people know you? How many people knew you were on it?
Very few. So much that I wouldn't go to the local grocery store. I would drive into town to a different grocery store. That's how embarrassing it was.
Wow,
for me.
that cost gas.
I hated it.
Because it's a little. I was on it when it was actual food stamps. It was like fake dollars you had to give, but now it's just a little card that you can discreetly swipe.
Yeah, and it was just, I don't know. It was just something about me, and like I've always been like that. I hate asking for help.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate it.
So, Caldy, did you ever go to like food banks? Did you ever have to actually go and pick up free food? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Well, Prairie, you seem like you were whining and
go ahead.
complaining about it. I don't know the point of stating it over and over, unless you were implying something. So, if all you're doing is like doing running commentary on the panel, I guess keep doing it. But I was almost certain you were trying to communicate something more than just that, and I still am.
No, it's good. Jeff, give me like 2 minutes. So, Caldy, did you? I mean, what was it beneficial? Did it help your life? Did it help you sustain?
Yeah. I mean, it got me through a very rough period.
They had food banks in Mississippi? Was it like through a church or a local charity?
Almost always through churches here. Like, and I've worked them. Like I grew up in the church. I've worked them and stuff like that, and it's still, I don't know. It was just me.
It's a pride thing. Like we're expected to be able to take care of our shit.
Yeah.
So Caldy,
protect, provide, preside.
When I was finally, I was like, I think I had like $200 left on it, and I didn't even spend it. When I broke out of it, I was just like, fuck yeah, I made it.
I quit doing it too. They wanted me to renew, and I felt better not being off. I'll just take the hit. I'll just buy my own food, even if it costs, even if
I would rather eat peanut butter sandwiches for lunch, dinner, and breakfast than go back on assistance.
Me too.
Maybe it's a man thing too.
It might be.
It might be.
Men are conditioned to be like the providers, and
our instinct.
Nancy, real quick. I dated a girl for a couple years, and she was a lawyer. Well, she is a lawyer, and she made twice I made. Twice. I mean, I'm making really good money, and she's economics lawyer, and she was making bank, and it was hard for me to acquiesce into a woman that's going to make more than you. I mean, I'm just saying it's difficult.
I get that. Men
That's more common now.
I would be fine with that. I'd be
But I
fine
mean,
with
I'm making six figures and she's making double that, and it's like, it's just hard.
12 figures.
Yeah, oh, yo, she was making like over 200, over 200.
she's making that Elon
And
money.
she would go to Belgium. Her firm would do apprehensions, and like she have to go overseas, and I wouldn't see her for like 2 months.
Cold in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, and this is years ago. But the thing is that like women are very successful. There are very successful women. There are.
They're successful because society's changing the standards to make it more favorable for women to be
Yo,
successful.
Jeff, she was hot, bro. Like she was
Oh,
like,
there you go.
yo,
There's
like for a lawyer, you think a
there's your
lawyer is gonna
success.
look like not really hot? Like she was like the hottest lawyer
I
I've ever seen
imagine
in
there's
my
hot
life.
lawyers.
Oh my
Very
god,
hot lawyer.
dude, she
Johnny
was
Depp had a hot
fine.
lawyer.
There's a picture of me. There's a picture of
I'm
me.
too pretty to be a lawyer.
There's a
A
picture
lawyer,
of
ugh,
me.
not looking like I look.
Yeah, they put pictures of me.
What's
on my
a gross
Facebook.
generalization, Effigy?
Oh my god, she was fine, dude. She was so fine.
Do
But
we have any mods that can handle this troll, or can I wrench somebody up?
Yeah. She was so fine, dude. And you know what? She was a sweetheart. She was a sweetheart. She was so cool. She was so chill. And she kept me in line. She did. She really kept me
What
in line.
happened to her?
She kept going overseas. Like she's a lawyer who travels the world. So, it was a relationship, but it wasn't, we didn't live together.
Oh.
It was one of those things where she was always gone, come back. It was like a military wife kind of thing. It was like, but we didn't have kids together. We didn't live
Was
together.
it just the distance, like the being
The distance.
apart for
Yeah,
too
the
long?
The distance, yeah. I mean, you're my girlfriend, and I don't see you for 2 months.
I never said there weren't successful women before any of those things. That's that straw man I'm talking about. It's not only the right that does it. People on the left are doing it too. I didn't make any comment at all about there not being successful women before any of those things. I just say it's happening more and more now because of the change in standard. Educational standards, job standards.
And there's pictures of
Workplaces
me-
are more favorable to women. It's harder for men to succeed in the school system now, in the college system, in the workplace, because all of the norms have shifted to norms that are more favorable to females. I have seen it myself in my workplaces.
Yeah.
That's
And
all I'm
there's-
saying. I'm not saying women weren't doing fine before that, but not at the rate they are now, and not the amount of them that are now.
And there's pictures
And you
of
can
me
look it up yourself. There's research. You can see the graphs of the women improving over the last few decades from before. So I'm not stating anything controversial.
And there's pictures of me and her online. That people put the pictures up, like of me and her together. We were at a white party, white where we were all white. You were all white.
Like
And,
a Diddy party?
No, yeah, not a
That's the only white party I know
So,
about.
we were at a white party. We were at the Sky Bar. At,
Excuse me real quick.
Joking.
Jeff,
Oh,
Jeff,
go ahead,
I'm gonna-
Nancy. Go ahead, Nancy.
I'm going to drop off because I'm getting sleepy.
It was a pleasure. I hope we talk again. I think we feel like we just scratched the surface. And I hope
Nancy,
you're doing okay. I think it's going to be okay. We'll get through this together.
It's all going to be okay.
I want to say something to you real quick, Nancy. You remind me of a teacher I had in the 10th grade. She was a tough old broad, and she kicked my ass every day.
Oh.
I hope not
And look at you
literally.
now. Oh.
You got to be, because I had some tough kids. So,
Yeah.
It took a tough teacher.
but I had some tough aunties and uncles and parents too. And we had busing when I went to school. I was not afraid of multicultural children, and I love them with all my heart. Anyway, you gentlemen have a lovely evening, and everybody in chat, except for the assholes, here, have a lovely evening. And I'm going to drop out.
I love you, Nancy. Take care.
I love you too, baby doll. Okay, bye-bye. Leave.
Take care, Nancy. Yeah, there's pictures of me online where, with my ex-girlfriend, and she was 100% Puerto Rican. She's from Puerto
Were
Rico.
y'all same age range?
She was, I think 1 year older than me. 1 year. So yeah, same age. But she's gorgeous, bro. Gorgeous.
Let's see.
Like
So
100% Filipino, 100% Puerto Rican. Yo, Puerto Rican women are dangerous, bro. They're dangerous.
I
Yeah,
don't even
but
know what
yeah,
this means, Prairie. I didn't say that either. Like,
we read a
I
white.
think two things are happening. People are
Yeah.
really bad at grasping my points, and maybe that's on me. I may not be the best communicator, although probably 80% of the people I talk to don't seem to have an issue. Or people are distorting what I'm saying in their brain and setting up a straw man that I'm not even saying. One of those two
Sure.
things are
And
happening, but it's a
I saw
common
you.
pattern. I need to
I saw
explore
you.
that.
So I was watching you, and I saw you touch on that and the straw man theory, and I think that you're really kind of getting to the bottom of people that are trying to placate, what you're trying to do.
Well, I
And I
noticed
think,
today because they total
yeah,
themselves towards the end. They're
yeah,
they're they're not here to try to understand what I'm saying. They're here to try to change me. And
yeah,
there's this like it's not about the content of the conversation. It's about how I'm having the conversation. And there's thing where men try
mhm,
to change other men or hold them accountable to standards or norms
mhm.
that those people are setting instead of letting them be themselves and trying to understand the person and who they are. And so that's
And,
what I think. I just noticed that
mhm,
today, so I'm going to
mhm.
keep an eye on it. But that's what I think's
And
happening.
you have to admit, Jeff, you have to admit that I'm perfectly imperfect. Like I don't judge. I give my opinion, but I don't want to change someone's directive.
Yeah, I don't
And
feel it from you. I
yeah,
feel like
but
you're able to come up here and the conversation kind of has this back and forth flow
yeah,
and we try to understand what each other's saying. But there's some
yeah.
people that come and they're not
Mhm.
really focused on what I'm saying. They pretend to be interested in give me your thought on this, give me your opinion on this. And when I do, that's not what they focus on. They focus on if I'm emotional or why am I saying it this way or why can't I communicate it a bit. It's not about the content, it's about the form. They police form instead
Exactly.
of trying to understand through processing the content.
Exactly. No, no, you're right. You're right. And
Let me
I'm
see what
not, I
Zinz
don't,
is saying.
the one thing I don't placate, like I just say what I feel. I just say what I feel. And I think that you're picking, I think, Jeff, I think you're learning. I think, and I'm not saying that you're not uneducated. That's not what you're very educated. That's not what I'm trying to say. I think you're learning how this stuff
It's that
functions.
social. I took that emotional test the other day. It's my social.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Social insight
Yeah.
was lower than all my other. That was one of my lowest areas. So it's that social insight.
And it's funny
Effigy,
that,
you're in your own head right now, as usual. They
and
are
I have,
very successful women, Jeff. They are successful because yes, a lot of women. If you compare the standards, but use whatever metric you want. Take some just average, ordinary woman graduating from college today and compare her
mhm,
to the standards from the past and see if it's the same success. Just like degrees are being watered. I don't think a degree from a college today is the same as a degree from a college 30 or 50 years ago. I think the academic and intellectual standards for the degree from the past were higher than the degree today. Nancy herself just talked about public
mhm.
schools not even giving grades anymore. So now you have a diploma. You were given a C to get it without even being tested on the material, and that diploma does not carry the same weight as a diploma from 20 years ago where you had to actually know the material to get the diploma. That's the kind
So
of stuff I'm talking about. I'm not saying that doesn't apply to every woman, but it's my belief, my claim, that it applies to a lot of the women that are successful today are not successful by the same standards that they would have to meet to be successful in the past. That is what I'm saying.
And Jeff, that's a good argument, and it's a great topic point because when I
Right,
went
but
to
they're not gonna make a logical argument from it. They're gonna turn it into a straw man and attack a bunch of other things instead of trying to understand the point I'm actually making, which is a perfectly valid point and really shouldn't even be controversial if they look at the statistics.
it's not controversial. It just basically, um, what was that thing that they said? No failure. What was it like? Pass everybody. You remember that from back in the day, like 20 something years ago, where they would pass everybody through high school. Like they would just pass them no matter what. If they got F's, they would pass them no matter what. When
Well,
I
that's what
went,
Nancy was saying they're doing today.
yeah, they are. They went back. They reverted back to that. It's no
I,
pass, no
I I
fail.
know I
No,
know there was several people in my graduating high school class that could not read. Several of
Yeah.
them. that could not read.
I
Yeah.
taught kids that could not read, and I thought it was a big problem. And my teachers, they were like faulting me for not being more understanding of why these kids from minority backgrounds couldn't read, instead of supporting me and trying to help them learn to read. They were like trying to defend and excuse the illiteracy instead of holding them to a basic literacy standard. They thought I was being mean and cruel by expecting them to be able to read. These were middle school kids. To expect them to read at like a fourth grade level.
So Kaylee, I've never talked to you before, so it's great to meet you. It's great to meet you. But I played football, but I was a rarity. I was a smart jock. Like, I had a high intelligence level, but I liked to hit people. So football was great for me. It was a great outlet. But what I'm trying to say is that back when I was in school, we're talking about back in 94, 95, 96. This is a long time ago. You had to earn your degree. You had to earn it. Now it's just given to you. And
a lot of the degrees, especially coming out of the humanities side,
Yeah.
in my day, you had to study philosophy, history, literature, all that stuff. You had to write essays on it. You had to be able to pass tests on it, asking detailed questions about it, etc. Now, I think you can do like this social justice type of work and get the same degree and know absolutely nothing about Shakespeare. There are probably, in fact, I know professors that say this. There are people graduating with English degrees that don't even know Shakespeare. They don't even have to read Shakespeare to get an English degree. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about.
I know.
If someone told me they had a bachelor's in English, I would assume they had a knowledge of Shakespeare, John Milton, Chaucer, Beowulf, the Romantic poets, etc. No, they can read modern books about, like, they can read Alice Walker or Toni Morrison and get an English degree based on just reading modern literature that has a social justice orientation to it. This is absolutely happening. That is the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
My kids are very intelligent. My one son and my one daughter, they both have master's degrees. Okay, they're masters.
It's not a Shakespeare lit course, I guarantee. It's not a course from a dead white European male.
I'm not saying that, but all I'm trying to say is that when
I meant for Jeremy.
No, you're good. When I was in school, it was harder. It was harder. Now, they're very smart. They're extremely intelligent. They get it from their mother. But what I'm trying to say is that all I'm trying to say, Jeff, is that back in the day, it was harder to get a degree. It was harder. Now it seems to be easier.
I believe that. I think that's probably true. I think it's harder in a different way. It's harder because it has to conform to ideological norms that it didn't have to back then.
So Jeff, ideology and intelligence are two different things. Two different things. So you can assimilate ideology without being that intelligent. Like, you ever heard the person that's the dumbest smart person in the class? You ever heard that?
For example, right here, the one lit class his college required, Harry Potter, was sufficient to pass it. That is when I say a lowering of standards, that is what I'm talking about. And the people that are benefiting from it seem to be women.
It's like getting points in college for your music degree by listening to Taylor Swift for
Right. So Kaylee, what did you
hang on? Nancy coming back.
Something that you are passionate about, like you have a passion in life. Is it
Nancy?
music?
What's up?
Oh, I'll tell you.
I had to come back. Look at something else that Trump said about all of our public school students are going to have internships. We're going to train them for careers.
Yeah, project-based learning and opportunities for internships and to transition to the workforce so that they can learn to apply what they learn. That sounds
Dude, we had that 20 years ago. We had that when I was in high school. Guess what happened?
What happened?
And I go, no child left behind.
That was Bush. That was George Bush.
I know.
Did you hear me say that? No child left behind. That was Obama's thing, where They would
No,
push
that was
people
not
No,
a
that
away
was
Obama
from
George.
thing.
But
That
you.
was
that I
Bush
was
thing.
teaching when No Child Left Behind got implemented. That was when they started teaching to the standardized test, the Common Core, that was set at a
Yep.
national level instead of a local level. And I talked about it the other day. Instead of the teachers being able to adjust their teaching style and material to their local students, they had to reorient it to this standardized national test. And they started doing what's called teaching to the test. They would teach the material that they knew was going to be on the test, and it wasn't this comprehensive whole person teaching that was tailored to the needs of that particular student group.
Nancy, can I ask you a question? Just it's a
Of
personal question.
course.
Okay, so do you think certain people are born smarter than others? Some people just
Yes.
have.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot. Scientists pretty much the
The
consensus now
genetics.
is that there's a large innate component to
No,
intelligence, like
yeah, you got it,
something like
Jeff.
60-70%. I mean,
Nancy, let
they
me
do
ask you
twin
this:
studies, they do all kind of stuff to
Do
validate it.
you think geniuses have the hardest time in life? Like you have a gift, but then you have a like something holds you back because you don't assimilate to other people.
I think
Are
geniuses
you
have it
watching my
hard.
show? We do. If we don't if we don't have a peer group to, because our social development suffers because we don't get the mirroring we need from other people. We have to find people like ourselves to get the mirroring that we need to develop socially that neurotypicals just get from having more people around them like themselves.
So Nancy, how I and Jeff knows this, how I assimilate through life, I use a tone scale. I'm able to change my verbiage, like the way I talk, because your energy is everything. Your energy is everything. But I think that I'm a lot smarter than most people. I mean, I'm just saying I am, but it's sometimes no, I'm no, Jeff. It's sometimes a
You
bad
might
thing
not
because
want to say it if it's true, because that's
no,
bad luck.
it's true. It's true. But the problem is, Nancy, the problem is that people try to um, they try to diagnose you. I'm smarter than all the therapists. Like I'm smarter than them. Like they can't get to me. You know, and it's like I see
But
what they're doing.
don't you think a lot of people in therapy think that?
No, no. There's
I was
very
about Zentz. I was about to say Dunning Crew. You beat me to it.
yeah. Yes, it's not Demi
Yeah,
Kruger. It's
I
just,
was raised. My father. I was raised to believe that if you're a genius, you
yeah.
shut your mouth about it.
So yes, but the reason why I'm attracted to Jeff's channel, the reason why I'm attracted to it is because Jeff has a very hyperactive mind. He has a very hyperactive mind. And I'm not pulling his pud, I'm just telling you. I have a very hyperactive mind. And we think on a different level. And it's not putting anyone down. A lot of people are dullards. They're just like, scratching their head. But people think at different levels.
But
And you
it's
can
Oh
go,
not
wow.
nice to point that out.
no, it
Well,
is. It is.
yeah, there's the social aspect, and then there's the reality of being
People, I'm sorry, Jeff.
intelligent and not being able to
Although
relate to the people around you. Wait, we have
I
Rowan
get
that
it.
just showed up. Rowan is
What's up, Rowan? And
a
I'm not
very
putting
honored
any,
guest here. How are you
Hello,
doing
Jeff.
since the election?
what's up, brother? I'm not putting anyone down, Barbara. It's
Wait,
just
Mike,
some
Mike, Mike.
people.
I need Rowan to talk.
Oh,
He
go
doesn't
ahead.
drop by very
Okay,
often, so he
Jeff,
gets
I'm
the
going to
spotlight.
drop out again just because I'm still sleepy. I just had to drop it again. Okay. Love
Okay,
you. Bye bye.
you too. Take care.
What's up,
Rowan,
Jeff? How you been?
my favorite leftist. What's going on in your psyche?
Yes. Oh, not a whole lot, man. Just
Let's hug it out,
just
Rowan. Let's hug it
working,
out, son. Let's hug it out.
making
Good to
money,
meet you, brother.
editing.
Good to
Were
meet you.
you surprised?
I was very surprised by the election. Yeah.
Oh, well, you
I
weren't
thought
paying
it would be
attention.
much closer.
We were trying to tell you. But how are
Yeah.
you doing? Like, are you okay?
Doing good. Generally, I'm a little bit bummed about the election, of course. It's been I've been tweeting a lot the past 4 days. But I would say generally, I'm optimistic. I'm just kind of unplugging from
Rowan,
politics, I think, for a little bit.
Are you Middle Eastern?
I am.
Oh, I
You are.
didn't
I
know
can
that.
tell. I can tell right away. Yeah, you look like me. We're like twins. Come on.
I
Look,
can't.
we look alike.
Your face is
Look.
concealed by a lot of shadows.
Yeah,
It's hard
you're
for me to
very
tell
dark. You're in the shade.
I can't tell your
Hold on,
physiognomy.
let me get it lighter. Let me get it
Here,
lighter. Because
let's do we'll do a
Rowan wants to
side
see
by
my
side.
face. He likes to see my face, and it's all good.
We
But
have
no,
we have a
Still
somewhat
shadow.
Rowan,
similar physiognomy, I would say.
He'll
Rowan,
take your word for it, I guess.
Rowan, you look very Jesus-like. You know,
Thank
you're
you.
my Lord and Savior. You know,
Thank you.
If you haven't discovered
get that.
Rowan, you should check out his channel. He does some fantastic AI work.
Rowan, let me ask you a question.
Wait,
So,
Mike, wait, I want my panel back. I'm gonna talk to Rowan
sorry.
for a while.
sorry.
What's up, Rowan?
Oh, so let's see what you asked me. You asked if I was doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm going to unplug from politics for a little bit, kind of trying to focus more on meme content and more on just kind of other things in my life.
Is it gonna be political oriented or
I'm
like
largely
cultural?
a lot of it is just, I would say, musical centered. I'm going to continue with some. I have 2 more rap battles that I've written, and then there's some comedy sketches.
Who's the rap battles?
I can't. Well, if you use
Okay,
a
wait, no, you don't
dictionary,
have to
can
say.
find who it's going to be.
I loved your one with Jordan Peterson at Drag. J-Reg, Drag.
J-Reg, yeah. I mean, yeah, he goes by both Drag
Wait,
and J-Reg.
do me a favor real quick. Drop his channel in the back while you're talking
Oh,
to him,
sure.
so I
Here it
can
is.
so I can look it up real quick. I think I've seen your stuff, Rowan, but let me see.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I hope you have.
I
Yeah,
usually put in the Discord too when he drops a new one.
Yeah. So yeah, I got two of those coming out. I'm gonna finish the Destiny trilogy, so it's gonna be Destiny versus a certain enemy that he has, and then I'm gonna do another one with I think Ronnie Radke and Anthony Fantano in like December or January.
I don't even know them.
They're like non-political people.
Oh.
And then I also I'm planning a sketch where Nick Fuentes finally gets his ethno state, but then he's killed by his own people because he's a quarter Mexican or Spanish, I guess. So,
Are there enough white people left to have an ethno state, like pure white people? Who's white? How do you know who's white anymore?
that's the problem. That's the problem right there. So the skit is going to be because he is a quarter Spanish. Or some kind of vaguely.
Well, they're Trump supporters now, I think.
No, for sure. But the joke in the video is going to be that he's also part Jewish, and so I'm going to have him like split into 2 people, like his like Jewish half and his Mexican half. And they're going to like talk to him like the ghost from Christmas Past. It's really just, this skit is just an excuse to like do like.
I see your green
screen
set up in the back.
It'll be fun. So.
Dude, you're a wild man, dude.
Thank you very much. It takes a genius to know one, M. So
I was already subbed up to you, Rowan.
I love it.
I was already subbed up.
This guy's nuts. This guy's got a refrigerator behind him. Rowan's up here with his Jesus.
I'm in my shack. I'm in my shack, man.
Your man shack.
I'm in my shack.
Rowan's up with his sweetest lumberjack shirt on. I mean, this is awesome.
I've got my Dr. Dog shirt on.
What is it? Heart Killer? Dr. Dog? Oh, yeah, dude. Love them.
Yeah, I got
their new album is great.
Yeah, I saw them on their last tour when they quit touring. I went and saw them and threw down way too much money on T-shirts.
Was that for the recent album?
No.
The one before that, Critical.
Yeah,
Condition or something. Critical Equation.
Yun. God damn it!
It's like if you haven't discovered Dr. Dog, they're like a folk rock band from Philly. Really good.
I'm sorry, but me and Ronan look like we're twins. I'm sorry. Dude, you look so much. We look so much alike. It's fucking crazy. It's freaking me out, dude. It's freaking me out. Yeah.
I might be you from the past, actually.
All right. So Ronan, so your name is Ronan, right?
Rowan, Roen.
Yeah. Okay. So do you know the 47 Ronin? The Ronin.
I did watch that movie with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I did watch.
So Jeff likes samurais. Jeff likes samurais.
Like what?
He likes Jeff likes really handsome Japanese guys. Don't lie, Jeff.
How do you know what I like?
I don't.
No, I want me a MAGA daddy. I want me a MAGA trad.
A MAGA.
Make America gay again.
So, make America gay again? Yo, you imagine the hat, Make America Gay Again? Would you wear that hat?
I think they have them, actually.
They do have those. I think the gays for Trumps have those.
Yo,
yeah, I think so. Yo. Hey, Ziggy. What's up?
There have never been more gay men supporting Trump than anyone ever in history. Like, gay men support Trump. They do. They support him.
Well, because the current gay community is it changed so much. It's so unfriendly to our form of gay that we used to
Because
take for
I think
granted.
now, Jeff, I think gay men always voted Democrat. They were just they were
Well, we
automatically
did back. We
Democrat.
were trying to get marriage because that was the only party supporting our goals, and the Republicans were actively opposing it. But that's all changed.
And I think
Hey,
that since the Republicans like us accept gay people, I think it's changed. I think it's changed.
Ziggy, what's up? I want to hear. I'm going to end the panel in like 15 or 20
Yeah,
minutes or so, and let's
yeah,
get
what's
my
up,
super
man?
chat. So I want to
Oh,
hear from you for a
how
little
long
while.
have you been? How long have you been on, dude?
I'm doing 2 hours now, unless I get enough super chats to keep going. That keeps me from doing like 8 to 12 hour
Oh
streams
yeah,
and not
yeah.
getting
Fuck.
anything out of it.
Well, no,
So
I mean
it's a way to discipline my own self.
right on.
I've been on for an hour and a half.
To put my input in is that don't judge me on this. I'm just like you with the Satanists, right? But I do support Trump, and I feel that
Satanist for
you.
Trump.
Yeah, no, I know it's a crazy thing, right? Yeah, I know. Trust me, I work with musicians, more particularly in the industrial metal side, and then there's a lot of them that are, Democrats, and that's fine, that's cool. But yeah, man, I just believe that things got a little tighter. I know bands that want to come from Europe over here that now are relieved that Trump is in office because now they'll be able to get more money with that travel. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What countries?
Europe.
Yeah, Sweden, Norway.
Mhm.
Oh,
Lot,
maybe.
lots of
Oh, maybe
Sweden,
Dobez will be
yes,
able to
yes.
come visit now.
Yeah. Well, you saw my arms, right? And I'm really good friends with Mortis, and he hasn't been able to even come over here with
What's
an industrial band. Is what
what's
I'm
his?
saying.
That's the name of the group.
Yeah, Mortis. Yep. Two
Mortis.
eyes.
Why can't
Mhm.
he come here?
Because it's just they don't make money here.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
So they might have
Right.
more of an audience.
did you do you
Right.
remember the band Supergrass, Jeff?
Vaguely.
They were huge in England, still huge in England,
Let me
but
look him up.
they only toured over here. They're on commercials now, but they only toured over here a couple of times, and they could only sell like 70,000 units over here. They would actually just about lose money to come over here and tour.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, like it was like according to Mortis, right? It was like they'd break even.
Yeah, yeah.
That was it. Yeah. And more, it was like the merch.
Is
Yeah.
it like the audience itself will feel more comfortable coming out now? Like, because I'm not connecting it
No.
to.
Well, the connection is that it costs that much. That everything costs so much. Like the hotel.
Oh, so you think the prices will go down and that will make it more affordable for them? Because
maybe we'll see.
Rowan,
I don't know.
one of your arguments for the left is they have better economic policies. What do you foresee economically coming from Trump?
Well, I mean, Trump's whole tariff thing is like comically bad, so I don't even think it'll get implemented because it's not like a realistic, doable thing. Because he wants to put like a
may I interject, please?
Wait, let him finish.
Okay.
Go next.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, so I mean, he's talking about like putting like an immediate 100% tariff on all Chinese imports. At least that was the statement that he made about a week ago. It's just stuff that's not realistic. It's not even possible. I mean, it would completely wreck our economy. So I don't think that's going to happen. In terms of labor policy, of course, I mean, like unions are going to get completely fucked over. I mean, the DOL and the NLRB are going to get staffed by all of his like pro-corporate lawyer people. And so I just think, like in general, I mean, we're going to see like unions and like general workers' rights be rolled back pretty considerably. If you look at his record from his previous presidency, there's things like he tried to pass this this law that was nicknamed the tip stealing rule that would have made it legal for employers to pocket the tips of their employees in food service. He rolled back the threshold for which people, or the threshold under which people qualified for overtime pay. So that took, I think, like something like $80 million away a year from like the general middle class. So there's like stuff like that I think he's like very, very bad on like middle and working class policies.
So did you not?
Wait, Ziggy's next. Ziggy gets next, and then you.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Ziggy. You want to say something?
Okay. Yeah. Well, no, I can kind of agree. I can kind of agree with him on the terms of 30 million illegal immigrants coming in. I don't really like Trump's promise where he says that we're going to deport them all. You can't even find the FBI most wanted for 20 plus years.
I don't ever take what comes out of Trump's mouth seriously because it always has to meet the reality test.
No,
so it's like this is what he's saying, but what is it actually going to happen? And you never know. It's like you're taking a gamble on Trump every time because he's chaos.
Well, he might be, but I I'm right there with you, man. Like, I understand that, like, you can't make that promise. You cannot get every 30 million people. That's fake. That's not going to work. I was in the military. I know how this works. It doesn't work that way. And I mean, so that's the one thing. But he did just jump on and he said he made the EU. This is the positive part. He made the EU say, yeah, now we're going to get fuel from America. Like, that was quick, I think he does have more
boycotting us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they were getting it from Russia and China and stuff. Yeah. So
that sounds good.
So there are very.
Oh, go ahead, Ziggy. Go ahead. I'm just trying to manage the panel. Go ahead, Mike.
There's good points to him. Also, like what I just said, that
you're roboting a little
bit. There is no way.
Yeah, you're roboting a little bit. You're in the Matrix, they're saying. In the meantime, Mike, what was your comment?
I mean, Ronan's freaking me out. The dude looks just like me. It's freaking me out.
I feel like
Rowan, I don't know if you know Mike or met Mike. He is an internet celebrity. You should do some Mike Cerrone content.
This is not normal. The dude looks just
You wouldn't even need AI.
Freaking me out.
What dude, like a doppelganger? Is that what you're saying?
You're a handsome guy. I'm just saying, it just like you look just like me, and it's freaking me out, dude. But anyway, the whole thing.
Like
I think we need both. I don't think America should want to lose its Shakespeare scholars, what little they have. But I do think we need the mechanics too.
Thank you, Mike.
But Ronan, you have better hair than me, so it's all because you're young.
Thank you, Mike.
But the whole thing, thank you very much. Thank you very much. This Elvis. But no, the whole thing with Trump is that I think Trump is going to help change the trajectory of what's going on right now. I think that we are on a crash course, for failure.
Yes.
And I hope now, is Trump perfect? Hell no. Trump's an asshole. I voted for him. He's an a-hole. But the thing is, he's the better of the two evils. That's all I was trying to say.
I agree.
Exactly.
As a Satanist, I'd like to feel like I have an eye for evil, and I judge him the better of the two as well.
But I think every politician, every president is a cheater. He's a dirtbag.
Oh, yeah. Fucking for sure.
That's how you get to that position. You get to that position by being a piece of garbage. You can't be the last good president, I think, was Jimmy Carter. Like a pure heart person.
Oh, like and he was virtuous and like the moral character we want from a president.
I thought he did the worst.
He did the worst. You know why? Because he was the best.
He was
person.
Too good. He was
nice. The best person. He was incorruptible. So he wasn't an a-hole. And that's why he failed. But I think Jimmy Carter was a good man. He was a good man.
I mean, I have an issue. The only reason I have an issue with Democrats is because it's like they killed their own president, which is what JFK. Like I'm like, really? You
I thought
wanted
that
to,
was what's his name? Was it
The
Lee
greatest
Harvey Oswald? I
president.
get all the assassinations confused.
well, yeah, he was a patsy, just like this guy that went after Trump, right? That's CIA, dude. It was the same thing. It was the same thing with Bush Senior. I mean, they asked him on camera. You can look it up. They said, "Where were you on the day?" And remember,
He's like me. No, the greatest presidents ever. He's freaking me out. But
I know I can tell. This I'm a little worried.
remember that
Yeah.
Bush Senior was part of the CIA.
Well, he was the director.
Exactly. And they asked him. You can look it up on YouTube. They asked him, "Where were you on the day that JFK got assassinated?"
Yeah.
And there is a picture of clearly it's him in a black suit.
Yeah.
And he's there, and he went, I can't recall.
And that's evidence of what? Like, but that's your evidence for a whole entire conspiracy theory? That
I mean, obviously, but no, that takes it back on me though, right? Because I said, well, even the Democrats want to assassinate their own, but here we are. Bush was a Republican, so I don't know exactly. I mean, nobody knows what exactly.
I've never heard that critique of the Dems yet. I'm not familiar with that one, and I have plenty of.
I had
material
never
against
heard the George Bush thing until I started listening to the Whitest Kids You Know and Trevor Moore. And Trevor Moore had shitty history, and it was talking about.
Oh, is it? I saw it on YouTube type of thing.
Yeah, where it's American.
Well, it's a documentary. It's a documentary. You can look it up.
A lot of those are. It's very easy to.
Alter or something.
Build
maybe.
a documentary from propaganda or build propaganda.
It could be. Yeah, you're right. It could be. I don't know.
Would you agree that the greatest presidents in our lifetime were JFK and Lincoln? Would you agree?
Neither one was in my lifetime.
You were alive back in Lincoln?
I was. Dude,
I'm don't
do it like that. No, he might know the history of Lincoln and stuff like that. That's what he's saying.
Right? I'm 146 years old, so I mean, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Well, no, you'd be 163 years old.
The greatest president of my lifetime.
You know,
wait, I'm here, Rowan. Go ahead, Rowan.
The greatest.
Did you guys know?
Wait, Mike, Rowan.
My lifetime was Joseph R. Biden.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Biden was the GOAT, man.
Yeah.
Fucking IRA, fucking chip.
Yeah.
He did. There are a lot of achievements he racked up.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the owner of this channel, and I'm gonna go.
Union antitrust.
Is this a documentary here? Fake? Like?
No, there are legitimate. Biden did, but there are some accomplishments that Biden definitely gets credit for.
Tell me what.
I put together a document.
All right, don't get too close to the camera because you're freaking me out, dude. You look just like me. Just stop. Just back up a little bit, man.
Oh
Jeff,
yeah,
where did you find this guy? Who is Mike? Mike, are you famous elsewhere?
I don't know anything.
He's probably the internet's
that he
most
did
famous
that was-
locale. He has an entire cottage industry developed.
Well, that says it right there.
Hating
You're
him,
low
making
cow.
content of him, videos of it.
Cottage industry? What do you mean?
Mike has people that chase him around.
There are entire discords devoted to Mike, and when he's on panels, they let each other know. Mike's one of the reasons my numbers grew, because all of his troll followers suddenly started coming to my channel.
You have to admit, we look just alike.
But how are you though? Literally, how are you able to say that the Biden administration actually? I remember.
Well,
that
Rowan's about to tell us. He has a list.
Real quick. I just want to say this real quick. When Trump was in before, I was traveling about an hour to go to work. And I would throw in like $15 in gas. And fuck, man, it was attainable, And then here comes Biden, and guess what? Oh, then I moved on, and they go, hold on a minute. They go, do you want to take the backs? And I went, no way. and I'm done. That's it.
Dude,
Do you think
Okay.
that Biden
then-
was responsible for gas prices spiking post-COVID?
No, that was Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, look at this guy. It's fucking freaky, dude. It's freaky as shit.
Mike, what is your channel? Do you have?
Are
Like, a
you
channel
on
YouTube?
something, Mike?
No, I'm not.
Molly.
He looks
Sounds
just
like he's
like
on Molly.
me. I don't have a twin. Dude, you look just like me. It's freaky.
Hey, it's
just
your
freaky.
doppelganger. Yes.
Yeah, Mike Doppelganger, just what you need. Rowan, your numbers might go way up, but it might not be the
Dude,
audience you're looking for.
handsome.
Yeah, it's true.
You're a handsome guy. You look like me. You're a handsome dude. But, dude, it's freaking me the fuck out.
So
I'm
you're
just
calling
saying.
yourself handsome, right?
It's just weird.
Oh, he
It's
likes
just-
himself.
Yeah.
It's just-
That's what it
Dude,
sounds.
I have about 10 more minutes of the panel, so I want Rowan to be able to
look
get
at
some of his
face and
list
look at
in.
mine. Tell me we're not twins. Tell me we don't have the same mother somewhere.
Well, you're always
not
so in the
twins.
dark.
You don't have the same mother. I
We
said
certainly might.
Yeah. Look at this guy. Holy shit.
Do
It's
they have the
crazy.
same father?
Could be. Could be. A
All
bastard.
right, and
father.
animated effigies trying to come on, so we'll hear from him
He
too.
beat us with a whip.
I'll keep it going
Okay.
5 or 10 minutes
Let me
over.
real quick. I'm gonna read y'all off some Biden W's. Okay.
Rosen,
Okay,
you're
Rowan gets
handsome.
here. Rowan gets the floor.
See what
Everyone,
y'all think
Rowan,
of this.
let's.
you're
All right.
handsome. Dude, you're a handsome dude. That's all.
Thank you
Go
very
ahead.
much. I appreciate. I feel like whenever I see myself on a flip camera, my jaw.
That guy sounded like Trump. You're a handsome guy.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be
I'm gonna
huge.
have to backstage to give Rowan his moment.
Some say one of the most handsome. No, okay. Okay, so let's go through a couple things here. So let's start with the IRA. The Inflation Reduction Act, okay, one of the provisions was a 15% minimum effective corporate tax rate. Tax credit for electric vehicles. It allows Medicare to negotiate for lower drug prices. It capped out-of-pocket prescription drugs for older adults at $2,000 annually. And it put a $35 per month out-of-pocket cap on insulin, which was quite an incredible accomplishment. It also slipped in a provision that allowed the EPA to regulate carbon emissions again after the Supreme Court had ruled that the EPA could no longer do this. And so carbon emissions by 2030 are projected to be 40% below peak levels. So that bill was pretty cool. He did really good reforms with the NLRB. For people that don't know, it's short for the National Labor Relations Board. They handle unions. So this accelerated the process for being able to form a union, strengthen their protections, and did lots of things like it enforced laws around employers being able to intimidate workers out of unionizing, talking about forming a union, stuff like that. He also, I think, appointed Lena Khan to what was it, the Department of Labor or the NLRB, one of those two, and she did a lot of really, really great stuff to accelerate workers' protections and do work in
I
the
wish
antitrust.
Kamala would have owned that more.
I do too. I wish that she could talk more about.
But
labor.
I don't. Go ahead. I don't want to.
I'm very
hijack you.
passionate about labor. I wish that she had talked on that more.
I wonder if
Biden's
there's an
great, though.
association with working class men that caused them to calculate politically that it was better to distance themselves from it.
I
than
agree. I
own
think
it.
they did a
Could
bad
be,
optical
yeah.
move.
Which is the
Because
identity politics.
Y'all know that in a blind poll, 80% of the U.S. population agrees with Kamala's policies more than Trump's. In a blind
Whoa,
poll,
what are you talking about?
They didn't know
What?
whose policies
What?
were-
I don't even know what her
Wait.
policies are. Does she have policies? That's one reason. That was one of my frustrations with
All
her.
right.
Yeah, whenever people took a blind poll, it was like a sample size of like thousands and thousands of random samples of people, and this was 80% of people preferred Kamala's over Trump's policies. when
That
it
is
was
not-
blind.
Well, not when
So,
it comes to DEI. I'll
in my
tell you that.
opinion, the
Have you
issue-
got that, Rowan?
Yeah, sure. I can link it to you right
And
now.
I want to hear from Effigy too.
So one big issue I think with Kamala's campaign was not really a policy one, but they just ran a bad optical campaign, and I wish that they had done a lot better about that. But I won't give you all the rest of the spiel about Biden's.
Well, if the
Yeah,
policies
please
were so
don't.
great, they did a very poor job at articulating them and
Yeah,
communicating.
the popularity vote went to Trump, and that was 80%. What are we talking about
The
here?
first time,
Yeah,
the
for
first
sure,
time,
because
guys,
there's
the first time in 20 years, they won the popular and the vote. They
Yeah,
won
because
both.
I think that
Yeah, it
there's
was
some
a pretty
mix-up.
decisive victory.
Yeah, there's
It
a
was.
big divide between optics and charisma versus actual policies. Like after Trump got elected, if you look on Google, the Google search "what is a tariff" spiked by like 5,000% after he won, because his own voters are trying to like understand what tariffs are and stuff. So I think there was a big disconnect there in terms of policy versus Trump just being like a very like likable, charismatic person.
Well, no, you're figuring out what tariffs are. We already know what tariffs are.
Me figured, I don't think
No.
that anybody voted for Trump.
Come on.
for
Effigy,
tariff
what's
there.
up? What you got to say?
Hey, so yeah, look, there's a bunch of mistakes that Democrats are now chewing over. Hate to say it, but the biggest one of those mistakes is Biden not going with his initial promise. If you're not going to run, you have to decide it early. You have to. It didn't give Democrats a chance to really tool up. And one of the most honest things we can say is like having a really tiny short campaign puts you at a disadvantage. It just does.
117 days, by the way.
Definitely.
Yeah, like it's going to put you at a disadvantage. And there's no way not to say that. It's like if you're running a race and you have to start 20 minutes later than the other person, you're going to have a disadvantage.
Caldy has something real quick.
Well, Effigy.
Caldy, go ahead.
Did you guys see the thing that just came out not too long ago where Nancy Pelosi said we wanted to have a primary, but Joe Biden pushed Kamala out before we were ready?
I didn't.
No, I didn't see that.
Well,
no.
that's just the thing, though. I don't know if at that point, because the problem is that Joe wanted to run, and like when you've got a president who I mean, he may have been a little unpopular, but he wasn't tanking, right? And it's his prerogative, and that's what it came down to. And it just, you have to kind of say, like, yeah, your decision was what it came down to. He should have chosen either to stick with his initial promise to only do the one term, or to just strong arm his way through it.
Oh, I didn't know he made an initial promise that it was only to be one term.
Yeah, that was one of his promises.
Yeah.
Look, I'll in as much as I agree with literally everything Rowan said, because if there's one thing I think Democrats have also learned, it's like something like inflation and just what people feel over prices can trump.
That's perfect. Feel.
It can absolutely trump all of the actual.
They don't care about the
things
nerdy
about
stuff.
the economy. Because the fact is that when your economy is so good that the IMF is coming out and saying that you're the only thing keeping the entire world economy afloat, you can't say you have a bad economy.
But they didn't communicate any of that to the voters.
No, yes, absolutely.
I agree.
And it really just comes down to, I think, when people have that feeling of, I hate that these prices are this way, and we've seen this throughout the entire history of our country. When people are feeling bad, they just want to flip things around to the other side. Like, I think that's a big part of it. I don't think it's all of it, but I think it's a big part of it.
It's called course correction.
It's why Trump lost.
That's a great.
Yeah, I agree. Those states flipped from Trump back to Biden and then back to Trump.
Look here in the vein of coming together, I will make a concession to all of my right-wing friends right now for all of you. Here's my concession.
Hang on. This needs a solo layout. Come on.
Here's my concession to all my right-wing friends.
Silent. Hang on. Go ahead.
Because this is just reality, and this is about the definition of things. And this may change in the future depending on how his coalition moves. But at this current moment, I cannot call Trump a fascist, because fascism is
this guy.
Multi-ethnic. No version of fascism is multi-ethnic. So if there is some kind of authoritarian thing happening, he just got 1/3 of the non-white vote. I can't call him a fascist.
I love this guy, man.
Okay,
I love you, man.
I will. Oh, hang on.
I fucking love this guy.
Sorry,
dude.
that was my. I will accept that with grace. I will just.
Now, I'm not admitting that there may not be some kind of new form of multi-ethnic authoritarianism that's coming, but right now, I cannot call him a fascist.
Oh, yeah.
I have seen signs of it, but not from Trump or his supporters itself. I think there are elements on the right that are emboldened and are trying to censor, but I think they're a fringe minority, and I think we're going to be okay, and I'm going to stand against that with you if it happens.
Look, one of the things I've told,
we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait, a couple months, maybe even more than that, before we see a compact. right?
I
And-
have,
or
I
an
have
impact.
friends who are political scientists and have PhDs in this kind of stuff. And one of the things that they're talking about is much like the Republican coalition that was forged in the 60s and 70s has been completely obliterated. We may have just seen like the final nail in the coffin of the liberal coalition that was formed in the 60s and 70s. The liberal coalition
Correct.
for the last 50 or 60 years has assumed that minorities move as a monolith because the right has always been hostile toward them. If that's changing, that means that the conservatives in these minority groups are now going back to their ideological home. And I
It's
think
changing
that's a
with the
good
gays
thing.
too,
I think
not
that's a
even
good thing because like the
racial
Democratic
minorities.
Party in the 60s and 70s, those people going back into the party will run out the crazies and the racists and
Yeah.
the homophobes and stuff like
Let me
that.
say something
The
real
enlightened
quick.
centrist.
Effigy,
If I may, whenever
Wait,
I'm
let Mike get in, and then you go ahead, Mike.
you're spitting mad facts, man. You're spitting mad facts. I mean, this is a great conversation. But you're right. You're completely
this is a
right.
really great conversation. Yes.
Well, it's going to end in like 10 minutes unless I get some super chats.
And that's my hope. That's that I've argued that for a long time, and a lot of my other left leaning friends don't like hearing that. But it's true. Like that has been a reality of American politics: is that those groups were all on one side because of the realities of how the other party was.
You're
And if that
spitting-
changes,
you're
then everything
spitting-
changes. So
You're spitting truth and you're educating people. So hopefully people can learn from what you're saying. That's all. Because I think you're speaking nothing but knowledge. That's just my opinion.
May I hold my hand up?
Go ahead. You so
I'm a Civil War historian, and going even further back from what you were talking about with history, it's ironic to me that the Confederacy was Democrats, of course, and then of course Lincoln was Republican, and then moving forward, we see this rush on what things need to be done and what it doesn't need to be done, and yada yada yada. And then still, and I'm not racist, but the blacks are still with the Democrats. But it seems like they switched. Democrats are now Republicans from then, and
I mean, I wouldn't go that
Republicans.
drastic. I mean, black people overwhelmingly voted Democrat.
Oh, yeah.
And
There has been a
and
shift,
black
that's
males
clearly with the men, a
barely
small
like
shift.
moved even a percentage point. So black people didn't really move in this election. What really moved?
Well,
as far
that's
as
why
racial
I was asking
politics
you. You
was-
seem
was
like you sound like
Latinos.
an expert, and I wanted
Republicans
to
won
see your
Latino
input.
men.
Oh.
They won Latino men.
and Native Americans.
Like so, it's a weird shit.
Well, even the Amish, didn't they?
Amish. That's a
Well,
big
I don't know if the
one in
Amish
Pennsylvania.
were going to go much
That was-
left.
That was a very specific thing because Pennsylvania was in the focus so much.
Right. Yeah, that was crazy,
Do
man.
you gentlemen think there's a shift in the country where more African American and more people of color are going Republican away from the Democrat?
I believe so. I do. Yes.
Where I'm at,
Well, it's-
100%.
The black
It's a matter
Nazis, the
of
gay
them
Nazis, the
feeling that
Mexican
they
Nazis,
can
yes.
or not, right? As long as the
saw it
party
at the
houses and protects white nationalists, they will not go back over there. But if they feel that those people are being pushed to the fringe,
Oh, I see.
Yep.
I see what you're
I've said for a long time, if the right wing ever wanted to absolutely destroy the left for at least 20 years, all you had to do was kick out anyone you ever felt was racist or bigoted, like toward
This
gays.
fucking guy, man.
Since
Who is this
2020,
guy?
I have
Who's
felt way
talking
more
right now?
comfortable
I like
around
this guy.
Republicans than Democrat. I have gotten nothing but hostility from my Democratic friends, and I have gotten nothing but acceptance and understanding from my Republican friends since 2020.
I would
Jeff.
say
I'm right
that-
here, right now.
I would say that the hero of Pennsylvania is a gay dude named
Scott
Scott
Pressler.
Pressler.
So Jeff, do you think so Trump is rich, he's a very wealthy man. Do you think Trump needs a gay husband? And would you fill that role, Jeff?
A gay what?
A gay husband. You think
Oh,
he
I'm not
would
marrying Trump. No, I don't marry straight people. But he can come on my show. I've been trying to get him on my show, and if he wants to invest or donate in what I'm doing here, I would certainly accept
drop
that.
like $6,000 in the chat or
But
Yeah,
all
sure.
these
If
things
Trump
can
wants to
just
drop
roll right
$6,000 on
back,
me,
though.
I'll take it.
Like all the things I just mentioned can roll right back if you initiate policies that hurt all these people.
But I don't think
Yeah,
I don't. It's not even
Absolutely.
Trump. I think we have like some more intelligent people in the party now that understand this that are going to be able to guide Trump in a way
Well,
that
not Jeff, not just that, but I think that whenever you have people up here, whether it's whether it's red or blue, man, I think you have fucking really intelligent people up on your chat, man, fucking talking about this stuff.
Whoa,
I
well,
like
thank you. I
these
try.
people. I really do. I like them.
I think one of the biggest things is that people are starting to wake up. They're starting to be awoken, and because you're gay
What
or
you
because
got?
you're
Oh
white,
wait, what is that, Rowan? Don't get my channel shut down.
no,
Can I not show guns?
they're being
It's
awoken.
fake.
They're looking at the
Is it
truth
obviously
other
fake?
than- They're looking
No,
at the
it's
truth
real.
in the status quo.
Sorry.
They're looking at the truth.
That was
Such
an
a great
obviously
conversation, and I might.
that was an obviously fake gun you had there, Rowan.
There are
What a
people that have
great
gotten
fake
their
gun.
channels
No,
struck.
oh yeah, that was
I've never had it. I posted
he
a
had
YouTube video
that was a
with
pellet
it,
gun.
and it's totally.
Y'all
fine,
think I'm
yeah.
okay?
Yeah, it's totally fine. Sorry.
Okay.
What'd you
God,
put?
Rowan's the last
I
person I
forgot
would
it.
have thought.
Yeah,
that
Rowan,
would
No,
get
it was
my
a
channel
it was
struck.
a Daisy pellet gun. Nobody cares.
I was like, are we being taken hostage? What's going on?
Listen, Jeff, I'll hook up the Trump conversation. I'm only 3 people removed from Trump now, because I now have Destiny's contact info, and Destiny's talked to Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's talked to Trump.
Well, even if you get Ben, I don't want anything to do with Destiny. I think he's a complete psychopath. I want him as far away from my channel as possible. But if you can hook me up with these other channels, I could definitely use the networking, and I would love to have any of those other people on my channel.
It's
So if
like-
you hook up Trump, you're gonna get something special.
Hey,
I don't know what yet. I'll figure something out.
I really think that there's so much. We can expand our minds and everything. It's just like, I'm not trying to be all like Zen-like, but I just think that we need to teach ourselves how to be better people. And I think Trump is going to come in. I think Trump's going to come in and he's going to help us.
I think, believe it or not, I think there's some healing that's going to happen under Trump. As crazy as it sounds.
I
You
hope
just
you're right.
sounded like earlier. You sounded like you wouldn't.
All we've got
feel like
on the left
Trump
right now
would
is a
heal.
hope that you're right. Basically, like, okay, we're
Well,
just kind of like, okay,
hey,
sure,
all you
that'll
need
be
is
great,
hope.
man.
That's
I
all
would
you
love
need.
that.
Hope is better than all the black pilling that's been going around. before that.
I would much
Hold
prefer
on to
that
that
than to
hope.
say like a 4-year span of turning ICE into the Gestapo and having spectacles of people being ripped apart from their families and shit. That would be much better.
Where do you get
Jeff,
your propaganda
I wanted to
from?
ask you, Jeff.
I'm just-
I wanted to
I
ask
just wanna
you,
run
like,
through my head how
who
you
was your
deport
guest?
an insanely
Who-
large population. So
I'm sorry to talk over you. Who was your guest, man? He was very sensible and very
Which
cool,
guest?
man. The guy that was talking a while ago. Well, there was 2 of them.
Rowan?
Like, do they have channels? Like
Animated effigy?
Are you talking
Yeah, I'll
about
drop effigy's channel.
how smart I am?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Not
I'll
just
send
you,
I'll
but
find
there
it.
was
Hang on.
another guy on the panel that was really, really fucking cool.
Oh, are you on your
I-
phone? Like you can't see the panel? It's
Yeah.
Rowan and
No,
animated
yeah.
effigy.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter. I have to go. Bye, guys. It was great
Oh.
talking to you. Bye, Jeff.
Good to meet you,
Rowan,
Rowan.
it's been a
Take care.
pleasure.
Nice
Thank
to
you
meet you.
again. We'll
Take care, Mike. Take care, Mike Cerrone clone. You freak.
Bye, Mike.
Mike, you got anything you want to say?
No, it's one of those
To
things where
wrap up
I'm really hoping that Trump comes in and he's going to have a long battle ahead of him. He's going to have a long road ahead of him, and I'm hoping that he can turn things around, lower inflation, lower
Yeah,
prices.
Mike. That was the other one. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike.
so
That was the other one? Okay. Yeah, Mike
People-
Cerrone. He doesn't have a
people-
channel, actually.
People
I
love
have a
me,
que-
dude. People
I
people
have a
love me.
question when I can.
Well, I
Yeah,
like
you can-
sensible people.
yeah,
I
right.
don't care if you have a channel or you don't. You know.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Whoever said they had a question.
So here's my question: do you not think inflation has been lowered? Like we are near normal inflation levels.
I have heard that. All I know is the prices are not going up. So whether inflation's
this is the
lowered on
point. Oh
paper,
my goodness,
people
thank
are
you,
not
Jeff. This is the
feeling
biggest
it
point
like
right
you
here.
said.
Does everyone understand that when we talk about inflation in America, in the world, we are talking about the inflation rate, a percentage rate that inflation is happening in a growing economy. Inflation always happens in a positively growing economy. That's why the target rate is 2%, always has been 2%. You
What's the
cannot
rate growth?
deflate.
Right.
What-
Joe
you
was on
cannot
here the other
deflate
day.
Hold on, he's
What's
talking.
the
Explain
wage
it.
growth?
Let him
What's
go,
the
let
wage
him go.
growth? What's the wage
Prices
growth?
without an economic crash, right?
What's the
Wage growth has never kept up since the 80s, since we decoupled, right? Like, so it's not even an argument anymore that wage growth can match inflation,
Well,
right?
Invest in
Ma-
stocks. That's the answer.
I'm putting my hand in the air. after him.
Yeah,
Yep.
I haven't heard the term
No, no.
decoupled in a long time. That's an old financial term. But yeah, no, you're right. So the hedge against inflation is always precious metals. But I think the dollar is being devalued over and over and over again. The more we print money, it's devalued, and we went off the gold standard. So that's why
Bitcoin is also one now. It's not just precious metals. It's now Bitcoin.
I mean, yeah.
Well, Bitcoin
Totally.
is fictitious. It's not real. Bitcoin is,
Well-
is basically just
Well,
something
I don't even want to
Well-
start the
Mm.
Bitcoin conversation right now because I'm about to wrap up. Ziggy,
Oh,
you want to say something?
Sorry, buddy.
Going into the inflation thing.
Hey, Mike. Okay, go ahead.
Going into the inflation thing to back him up. Here we are with Asheville, North Carolina, and we have FEMA saying that, well, the boss, I guess, I don't know what the hell he is, captain, whatever the shit he is, that says, yeah, we can't help the residents, FEMA can't help the residents in Asheville because there is no money. Well, quit sending the taxpayers' money to Ukraine.
No, you get that. That's a matter of
Simple.
allocation, right? You get that, right? It's a matter of how much money is allocated toward that department, right? You get who's cut FEMA over
Yeah,
the years, right?
it
You get
is.
who's
But
cut
okay,
FEMA,
but
right?
was that what? Hold on. I was the one talking. Hold on. But is that what they did? Is that what they did? I don't know. I don't know if they took
Yeah, that's the
from
first time
every
anybody said to me.
allocation.
Well,
Just
yeah,
that
no,
I
that's
don't
what
know.
allocation is. They didn't like take from.
There's only
Well,
one party
yeah.
who cuts FEMA. There's
We
only
looked at the
one
budget
party.
several like a while
What's-
back, and it's the
right,
budget.
right.
There's three like categories of budget, and some of it's mandatory, some of it's discretional, etc. It's not just a pool of money, and they say, "Oh, we're going to take
Nope.
from FEMA and give to
No, that's
Ukraine."
not.
That's
No,
not what
no,
happened.
Listen, my man,
Jeff.
trust
That's
me.
what. No,
I live in
that's what
fucking
he
Louisiana that
said.
gets hit by hurricanes all the time. I know FEMA like the back of my hand because I've dealt with them nearly yearly.
What did?
for
Okay, what
my
did they
entire
do?
life,
Go.
right? So trust me, there's only one party that ever
So do you
cut
think-
FEMA. There's only ever been one party who has limited the amount of money that we can get to help us after a disaster. Because we
Do
used to
you
get
think-
a few $1,000
do you think
after
you-
a hurricane destroyed our shit. Now all those people complaining that they got tiny checks. Well, guess what? There's a party that changed that and made it so, right? So any
Do you-
complaints about FEMA, you're the ones who did
Well,
it.
there was
yourself.
that supervisor that just got fired for telling
Wait,
people
hold
not
on.
to help
Who-
people
who
with
was
Trump
the
signs,
party
not to go to houses
Who
with
was
Trump
the party that
signs.
changed it?
Do you
So-
think the American dollar? Do you think the American dollar will ever come back to its?
I'm not.
its,
Listen, hey, I'm not starting new conversations. I want people to get their closing thought in. I'm wrapping up the panel. So, Mike, do you have any closing thought?
No. I just hope everybody's safe and secure. And I'm sorry about all the hurricanes.
Everybody,
It's terrible. I'm in Virginia, so we didn't get any. But
I neighbor you. Oh yeah.
Okay.
But a few years ago, my house got flooded, and it was a terror. There was fish in my living room, like there was actual fish in my living room. That's
Here,
how
let me-
crazy.
I'm gonna. It looks like Fools is live tonight. I'm gonna send everybody on the Fools. He's having a Saturday
Fool?
night panel.
Fools.
Do you mean Falsey? Is that what you're talking about?
Traveling Fools.
Oh,
That's his
Okay.
channel. Okay,
All right.
Mike, it was good to see you. We'll see you
I'll-
again.
Hey, it was really
Wait, Caldy,
Jeff, it
you
was
have-
really nice to talk to you and everybody else, and you guys were very cool, man. I like the conversations.
Well, you too, Ziggy, and take care.
Yep.
Thanks for stopping
Take
by.
care.
Caldy, you got anything?
Yeah, I just want to say, Trump 2024, we did it. The God Emperor is on the Iron Throne now. Everyone is going into the crystal. Get ready for it.
Blood for the blood god.
Exactly. And then Baron Augustus Caesar will lead us into
Good. He's a Spurg.
You-
I'm looking forward to Spurg rule.
Other than that, good night, my friends. Love y'all. Always a good time.
You too, Caldy. Love you too, man.
Always
As for
fun to
you, I
jump
guess
on,
you get
Jeff.
the last word.
Yeah. The only way to go forward is together. So I think we all hope for the best. I always want my worst fears to be proven wrong. So if you guys think it's going to be great and fun, happy times, I genuinely hope it is.
I can't guarantee great fun, happy time, except maybe on this stream. But I definitely will do my best to have your fears be proven wrong.
Me too. Sweet. And we'll see going forward together in this crazy world. Always fun to jump on, Jeff. Check you later.
You too. Take care. All right. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out and participating. I think that was a good little evening stream. I'll be back again tomorrow. I'm starting to stream regularly every day, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. So you can find me here every day. I'll do 2 hours, and then depending on the super chats, I'll keep it going. So look for me tomorrow, and we'll do it again. I'll catch you later. And I put Traveling Fools link in the chat. He's doing a panel if you're looking for somewhere else to go. Other than that, have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.